Hey everyone, it's Denny here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am working with Heartcraft paper and I am working with one of the new images called Naughty List. So I am colouring up the image on Expresset blending card. I'm using Copic markers to colour my image today. So all of the markers will be shown on the left hand side, and I also will have them all linked up on my blog post, which all the links for that will be below the YouTube video. So I hope you will come and check out my blog, and don't forget, Heartcraft paper do have challenges every month, so we'd love for you to go and have a look at those, enter them if you're comfortable to do so. If you're not comfortable to do so, please do anyway. We love to see all different varieties of craft, so if you don't feel that you need to make a card, you can do any off the page sort of stuff. We're happy to see anything and we'd love to see what you create. So I have already started, so I'm using E000, E00, E21, E11 and E04 for the skin, and then I'm using some R20 for his cheeks. So I am working my way through. You guys probably hear me say it over and over again, but I always lay down a coat of the lightest color first. It keeps the paper saturated and makes it just that little bit easier to blend. So I am doing that. I've laid down the R20 and then I'm going to go in with my E000 and blend all of those markers out. So I have got this video sped up a little bit with the Copic colouring so that I'm not sitting here for hours colouring. I do usually take my time when I am colouring, and that's generally what I do. So on my finger you will notice I have a nice pretty new ring. My wedding rings are actually in getting fixed at the moment, so I've had to pull out one of my special occasion rings just so that my finger didn't feel too empty. I'm feeling lost without my wedding rings. We've been married, I think, 8 months now I think we're up to, so that's pretty exciting. And I am used to having those rings on my finger, so I'm feeling a little lost. All of my ding-dongs are all going off at the moment. My parents are actually just leaving to go and pick up my son from school for me because I am at home with a thumping migraine, but I'm trying to get up to date with all of my videos, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm just going to pop my phone on silent. Okay, so I'm using some C markers for the white areas. So I am using C4, C2 and C0. No, not C0, just 0. So the 0 colourless blender. So then I'm blending all of that grey area out so that once I do add all of my colours to the other areas, it will look white. Because you don't want to leave something uncoloured, it just looks not finished. So that's the way I usually make it work. Okay, so working my way through, trying to keep with the same colours. It makes it a lot easier to colour an image if you kind of stay with very similar colours the whole way through. So I'm just going through colouring all of my white areas. So that's what I'm doing here, just colouring all of the fluffiness to his outfit. And then I'll go in and start working on the other areas. So this image at the moment is a freebie in the store, so if you do some shopping on the Heartcraft paper website, you can add this little guy to your cart and he will be free. Now that is for a limited time only, so if you are watching this video down the track, he probably will no longer be free. But he is definitely a cutie and he will be on many of Christmas cards for years to come from me. Love it. Alright, so I've done his little gold belt and now I'm working my way through with the red areas. So I'm using R35, R37 and R56. And on that, what looks like a gold area for his belt, I have used, I'm just putting on silent, I've used YR21, YR24 and YR27. It always makes me laugh. I can get no messages through the day, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I go to do a voiceover, everything starts beeping. And I don't think to put things on silent because my phone doesn't normally go off. But of course today it is, but that's okay. I've had something for my migraine, so I'm just now waiting for it to kick in, and then I'm gonna, I think, go and have a little bit of a nap. So just working my way through. So like I said, I laid down a quick coat of the lightest red marker, and then I'm going in and blending all of that out. I love colouring Santas. I love Christmas. We don't do a lot of decorations and stuff in our house, but we do have a beautiful, nice big Christmas tree, which is my domain. The kids don't know, but it is my domain. I love to put all the Christmas decorations on the tree. I am that pain in the bum perfectionist when it comes to my Christmas tree. So I hope you guys love Christmas as much as I do. I do love making Christmas cards as well, but I am the worst one for actually handing out Christmas cards. I never seem to be handing them out. I'm now colouring in his boots, just working my way through. So for his boots, I'm using the C6, C8 and C10 markers. There's always one device that I forget. That was my iPad. I turned my phone on silent. I turned my watch on silent. I've turned everything on silent. So I thought. Alright. So now back to the red markers. I'm doing his little Santa hat. So laying a quick coat of the R35. Doesn't need to be perfect because you will be blending over the top of it anyway. We don't get any snow where I live, so for those of you that are getting snow at the moment, I'm watching all of these beautiful photos go up on Instagram and Facebook, and I get so jealous. I haven't seen the snow since I was like 11, 12. We do get it up the Blue Mountains. For those of you that don't know me personally, I am from Sydney, Australia, but I'm from the southwest sort of area, so we do get it up the Blue Mountains. It's just a bit of a hike to get there. Alright, so now moving on to his Santa bag, which is going to be full of all those awesome Christmas presents for all those good little children, and for the children that are on his naughty list, he's got another bag full of, what do they call it, coal, I think they say, for the naughty kids. I'm just working my way through, finishing that bag off. I forgot to lay down some red there, so I'm just scribbling some on to saturate the cardstock. And then I'm going in and blending it all out. Everyone, so my camera actually ended up dying while I was doing this card, so I didn't get to get the process of the card on video. So this is the card finished. So I'm going to go through a few things of what I have used on the card. So I've used this paper pad from Kaisercraft called Mistletoe, and it's the 6.5 inch paper pad. As you can see, it's very well loved, and I like to keep all of my bits and pieces within the paper pad so that if I need something small for one of my cards like this one, I actually had already used the what do you call it, the negative, I guess, I think that's what they call it, the other piece that goes behind the circle, and to save some of the paper, because I did love it so much, I did cut the center out using a stitched circle die, which I'm assuming, knowing me, would have come from one of my Lawn Fawn dies. So then I was able to, sorry guys, excuse that, that's actually Monica messaging me about my card, so ignore that. Yeah, so that's where that one came from. So that's the only pattern paper that I used on the front of the card. So in the background here you can see a star. So for these stars I used the MFT Dynamics, the star stacks. So I did use some washi tape, which you can still see in there, and I put 2 of them together and then I ran it through my die cut machine and I cut some. So that was the inside, and then I just had this dice sitting next to it just so I could cut that extra one out. So that's how I created the frame on this one. I do have some star frame dies somewhere, I just can't find them at the moment. So that's where that came from. Next will be the Christmas word dies. So I've used the Merry die from Mama Elephant. Not sure the exact name of it. Sometimes they don't put the names on the back of the packaging, so I will have to search that and try and get it linked up for you. So I just ran that through my die cut machine. On my desk I have 2 containers of scraps. So I've got one with white Express It offcuts and one with black, so that way I can use them, as I do use them a lot. So I have those sitting on my desk all the time. So that's how I did that. So I ran that through my Sizzix Big Shot with some of that black cardstock from my stash. And I adhered it using American Tombow Monomulti, my go-to liquid adhesive. And then we've got the Christmas word, which actually came from the Mama Elephant Christmas Spirit, and I've popped it onto a Lawn Fawn acrylic block, which I do have here. So I just used some of these acrylic blocks. I love them because you're able to hold them quite tightly. So I popped that onto there, and I've just inked up just the word Christmas, and I've left the rest of it, and I've used Memento Tuxedo Black. Alright, so I stamped that on some of that Express It, just the leftover cardstock. That way it was the same paper as what I've done for my image. Alright, so I've stamped that up. I've just used my EK Success Cutter Bee scissors to snip the side of it off, and I ran it through my Caterpillar Pro just to make sure that it was all nice and straight. My image I coloured up, as you've seen, with the Copic markers, and then I've just used my Cutter Bee scissors to fussy cut it. Normally I leave a border, and I also normally run around the outside of the image with my black marking pen, but this one was quite good. I've done a good job of cutting it, so I wasn't too worried about that. So once I had all of my layers done, I just used some Scotch ATG to pop onto the back and adhere it all to my card. So the card base is from Couture Creations. So they're a 13.5 by 13.5 card base. I purchased them in a bulk lot like this, and then I just used my bone folder to emphasize the crease. So they are already creased, they just come flattened. So I just used my bone folder to run along that seam and flatten it out. So that's that. Once I finish the front of my card, I do generally decorate the inside of my cards as well. This one, quite simple, just used a sheet of the patterned paper, cut it down to size, and then I always have, like I said, a lot of leftovers of my blending card. So I usually, depending on the sizes I've got left over, they either go into my bucket or I cut them all for the sentiments for the insides of the cards. And I always put a sticker on the back of them to say that they're mine, and then they will go inside a cello bag with the matching envelope. And I also put labels on them to signify the number of the card so that I can find it, and it's great for customers and things. So that's how my cards go out. So thank you all for watching. Sorry I didn't have all the process on video, but hopefully this all helps, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!
Thank you for watching Heartcraft Paper. You can visit us on our website at www.heartcraftpaper.com. For more videos and tutorials like these, don't forget to subscribe.